Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at the camera, not you.
Hey, everybody, what is happening? It is Wednesday. What's Wednesday?
Our all-day virtual Boss Up and List Day.
Listing party.
Listing party.
That we have in the Boss Facebook group. So if you are not in the Boss Facebook group, you should be, because every Wednesday we do this all-day virtual listing party. First thing in the morning, I put a post up, and everybody can kind of check in and say what their listing goals are for today. And then at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do this show, the Boss Up and List live show. It's kind of a chance for people to take a break, hopefully. Or if you want to keep listing, keep right on listing. That's cool. So what's up, everybody?
Hello.
I see some people in the house already. Hip flipping mama. I loved your epic potato post today.
I want baked potatoes.
We were giggling at that. But we do have a special guest today. Some of you guys, I think, probably follow her on Instagram. We have Crystal of Rosie's Closet. What's up, Crystal?
Hello.
And I just saw a post. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I just saw you posted, I think it was either yesterday or this morning, that you just did your first YouTube video.
I didn't even see the post.
I did. I just did my first YouTube video. I did it on my iPhone, so it's like that kind of square cut off. I don't know. I'm a total noob when it comes to YouTube. I'm like, I got to go get myself a camera.
Yeah, well, you can do it with your computer for now if you want. I mean, one thing you can do is you can do a live show, but make it private so that then that way it just uses the camera on your laptop or whatever to record it. If you want to do that for a while. But that's one way to do it. Or you can just do a live show. Just saying.
All right. That's how we do it. Therefore, there's very little editing involved.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, what's up, everybody? Sorry, go ahead. You don't want to edit?
No, I don't.
I know. She's always talking about, like, look at Riley Roots. They do such awesome videos. And I'm like, yeah, and it probably takes a lot of work to edit all those videos together. And we're
just too lazy.
It just takes a lot of time. Even just like when we do our Let's Go Sourcing videos and we go out, and it's like, I don't even really have to do any like real editing. It's really just putting together like 10 clips. Even that, like, it takes a lot of time, because then once you like put all your clips together, and you do have to like kind of clip the ends and the beginning and ends of it. And then you have to like export the video into the proper format. Then you have to upload it to YouTube. Like it ends up being like a couple hours of a process. Like, it seems silly because there's like literally no, like, I don't do any audio. I don't do anything. No visual effects other than my face.
That's a visual effect. I see I know we have a lot of people in the chat, and also in our group that live in Florida that may or may not be in the path of this crazy hurricane. So I hope everybody stays safe, batten down the hatches and all.
Yeah, I heard it's like moving really fast too. Like the last one was like super, super slow, but this one's moving a lot faster. So hopefully everything's going to be all right. You guys stay safe.
This is why I do not live in Florida. One of the many reasons: humidity, bugs, and hurricanes.
Yeah. Although here we do have it's like when it does rain here, we have these crazy flash floods. Like the first one I really saw when I was here, like I went down the street and there was this little sports car that was already like submerged in water. It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hey, downtown Julie Brown is in the house. What? She never comes in the live chat. She watches, but she never comes in the chat.
What's up, Julie? Gretchen likes my shirt. It says, "I got your back." It's my hell. It probably does glow in the dark. I don't know. I thrifted this.
I think it does glow in the dark.
It's got like a neon green. So I'm wearing my neon green and black Dutch Brothers hat to go with it, because I like to coordinate. But yeah, I should go like
go stand in the closet.
Go stand in the closet. Are you trying to put me back in the closet?
I don't think anybody can put you back in the closet.
Anyway. Hey, everybody. Who else is excited about the 14-day sale thing going away? Like not having to wait 14 days before you put things on sale.
I am happy.
I cried tears of joy, guys. She was like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you bawling?" And I said, "Because I can't believe it's finally over."
They had to, I think it's like eBay took a look at it and they had to make it last for a whole fiscal quarter just to see what their losses were.
Yeah.
And I think that they lost a lot of money and sellers lost a lot of money, and there was a lot of pushback, and they realized this is probably not a good idea.
Yeah. I will say it's like it does show that they are willing to listen to us. Like they do listen to sellers.
They don't reverse decisions very often.
No.
So the fact that they reversed the little bit that they did immediately, almost immediately from pushback from sellers, and then, you know, in general that they reversed this decision, that's pretty big. They don't usually do that.
For sure. And I really appreciate it. Like, I think, you know, it's like if any of you guys remember JCPenney, I think this was like 6 or 7 years ago.
I don't think it was that long ago.
It was like 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was longer ago than you think. But they did a whole thing where they were like, we're not going to do sales anymore. We're just going to lower our prices, which
they were like Saturn, the car dealership that went out of business, by the way.
But well, they were like, we're just going to lower our prices. And they did lower their prices. And they're like, we're just going to have low original prices and not do sales anymore. Well, it failed miserably. And the thing is, they were trying to like kind of model it after like how Apple does it, because, you know, Apple doesn't have like big sales or anything like that. And I believe the CEO who would come in to do it actually was from Apple. I think, I could be wrong.
It's not a bad idea.
But it didn't work because you know, Apple is like an exclusive thing. It's like you can't, it's not like you can go get other Apple computers. It's like Apple is Apple. And so there's this buzz around it. And so they can do things like that. And there's a reason why it costs like ridiculous, like $1,500 to get an Apple laptop, and you can get a regular PC laptop for like $300. I mean, obviously there's a difference in quality, but still there's a premium on their prices. But JCPenney did that, and they saw their sales numbers just completely plummet. And the truth is, like, people want sales. And I think, you know, we're aware of certain things. Like, you know, you go to the grocery store and it's like Pepsi or Coke is constantly going between like 2 for $5, 3 for $9. It's like every single week it's a different sale, but they're pretty much never not on sale. It's like, we get that, but
people
still
shop prices. It's all about perception. And in the world of merchandising and retail, perception is reality.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's people want to feel like they're getting a good deal, whether they're paying the same amount because it says it was $100 and now it's 50% off at $50, or it's an everyday price of $50. They're going to buy the one that says that it's half off for $50 and it's $50.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm not saying buyers are stupid. We're all conditioned that way. It's just,
I do it even when I'm fully aware of it. Like I still am like, I want to buy that thing that's got like a higher markdown on it. So it's just the reality. So anyway, I'm glad that happened. I'm especially glad it happened in time for the holidays, because I do like to run sales all the time, and it just makes it easier to manage everything. So whatever. I don't know.
What do you? Corey in the house. Corey's usually at work, so she's watching us live on a weekday. That's kind of cool. Melissa's got a connection. I know that she had gone on vacation, or I think gone to take care of dad or something along those lines in the last week or so. So she's gonna. Kind of in the boonies with no connection, she had said. So
Kelly just yelled at me and said, "Get your face off the screen. We want to see Crystal." So thanks a lot, Kelly. So Crystal, let's get to you. You're here in Las Vegas, right? What's up?
Yes, I am. I'm on the east side.
Okay. Yeah, we're in Henderson, so I guess that makes us on the sort of south side.
Yep. Southeast.
Okay.
We're southeast.
Yeah, not too far. Not too far.
Yeah, so we've never met in person, but we all follow each other on Instagram. You're in the Boss Facebook group, I think.
And we're Facebook friends.
And we're Facebook friends. Yeah. So how long have you been a reseller?
Let's see. I've been reselling on Poshmark for about 2 years, almost 2 years, and then on eBay for about 6 months.
Okay, so you're relatively new on eBay.
I'm kind of a newbie.
Yeah, that's good though.
And you're a Poshmarker first. You know, I was kind of suspecting that might be the case, that you were doing Poshmark first. So you've been doing Poshmark for 2 years. What do you tell us about Poshmark? Because I don't do it. Vikki doesn't do it. Do you like it? How is it different from eBay for you?
Well, I'm still learning the ropes with eBay, but Poshmark it needs a lot of attention. So it's not just like a list it and forget it. You are constantly having to share your listings or you won't make sales. Like, you can't just list it there and leave it there. You have to always share your closet, share all of your listings, get followers, go into parties. It's just a constant thing. I'm always in my Poshmark closet doing something. Otherwise, you won't make sales. You have to be very active.
It's really needy. That's what everybody keeps saying. Poshmark is really needy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a baby. You have to constantly give it attention or it won't do anything.
And so how many things do you have in your closet right now?
I think I have over 500, both on Posh and eBay, because I kind of cross post everything.
Okay. So most of the things you have in each store are the same?
Pretty much. Since I started on eBay, I have kind of branched out a little bit into some hard goods, but it's probably still 90% clothing and accessories.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll get to this more later, but you have like a pretty good sell-through rate on eBay. How do you see that as compared to Poshmark? Like, where does it sell faster?
I think shoes sell really fast on Poshmark.
I've heard that from more than one posher.
Yeah, I think it's because of the shipping. It's so easy to ship shoes on Poshmark, and it's just a flat $6.50 fee, no matter if you're shipping a tank top or you're shipping something that's like 5 pounds. It's a flat shipping fee. So it's better, I think, to sell shoes on Poshmark.
That makes sense.
But I've seen kind of equal sales on both eBay and Posh, so it's kind of hard to tell which one's doing better.
Yeah. So has it made a big difference to add a second platform to what you're doing?
Yes, it's made a huge difference. I think it's doubled my sales just because I see the same amount of traffic kind of coming through my eBay as through my Posh.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's fair. That sounds fair. Yeah.
And so are you splitting your time like equally between the two platforms?
I try to. I try to. But Posh is very needy, so it seems like spending a lot more time in Posh than I am in eBay.
Now, Posh is something that's just, it's just an app, right? There's not a desktop version, or am I wrong about that?
No, there is a desktop version, but it is limited into what it can do. So you can do a lot more on the app.
Gotcha.
Like you can run a sale on the app, but you can't do that from the desktop that I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay. I think a lot of the stuff that you can do on Posh, you can do it like while you're sitting on the couch or you're watching your kid play soccer, or you know, because a lot of it is the sharing and the liking and the networking social aspect of that. So I think that part is easier than eBay, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, I totally agree with that, because I'm out a lot and I do all of my sharing and everything while I'm out and about, because it's just easier, but it does take a lot longer to share from your phone than it does from your desktop.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and Gretchen says, plus you only have 3 days to return, so she loves that.
Yeah, returns I hear returns are much lower on Poshmark, if not just negligible.
Yes, no, I love the returns on Poshmark, because you have 3 days from the time that it shows the post office has delivered it. So you have 3 days to open a return, and you cannot return for fit. So if an item doesn't fit you, you can't return it for that. You can only return it if it's not as described. So that's awesome.
Very cool. And
every time I keep hearing about Posh, it's sounding more and more attractive to me. I just don't know how I can create more hours in the day to learn about the platform.
I love Posh, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, and we're both doing Etsy more now, so I'm really gonna be wanting to see like what happens with Etsy during fourth quarter, because I've never really had like a full Etsy store through fourth quarter. So I think that's what's gonna inform me on like if I want to keep putting as much time into it.
Same. Yeah, I'm up to about 350 listings on Etsy now. That'll be up to over 400 this week. And we'll see. And my goal was I wanted to be at 500 by the beginning of October. That didn't happen, but it'll be close. I'd like to keep 500 or 600 in Etsy just to see if it's going anywhere, because I'm always adding vintage stuff. So a lot of it right now is just cross-posting my items that are already on eBay.
Yeah. All right. So Crystal, you're in Vegas. Where we need to know, where do you do your sourcing? How do you get your stuff?
Well, when I first started, I was getting everything from the bins. But then I've kind of changed. I want a higher sales price, or a higher, what's the word I'm looking for?
Average sale price?
Yes, thank you. A higher average sale price. So now I've done a lot more shopping. Savers is my favorite. So I do hit up the Savers. A couple days ago, though, I did go to the Goodwill that's here by my house just because it was close. So I will go to Goodwill, and I'll pretty much go anywhere I can find a deal.
Do you do garage sales and things like that too?
No, not really. I hate the heat. So I will not, I don't really like doing the garage sales. Maybe now that it's cooled off more, I might go.
Yeah, it's really tough in the summer garage sales. I mean, unless you're going at 8 o'clock in the morning and only, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and then going home. It's tough in the summer, but now it's nice. Now it's the nice garage sale season for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you mostly, I mean, I see you've got a little bit of variety in your store. Do you mostly focus on women's clothing?
Well, when I was starting in Posh, they only did women's clothing. So now they've branched out to do men's and kids. So I've added that to my closet. So now I have a mix, but it's mostly women because that's how I had started. So, but I like selling men's clothes better than women's.
Because men don't return anything.
It's way more fun. Although now I got somebody competing with me at Savers.
I know. We've got lots of people in this valley.
I'm telling you, though, with how much stuff they put out every day, it's like it doesn't really matter that much. What days do you usually like to go thrifting?
I usually go on Tuesday. That's really kind of the only day I get to go.
Oh, really? So do you like try to get the coupons, like donate stuff to try to get coupons for Savers?
Yes. Coupons, use the app, the rewards, anything.
Whatever
and then
works.
Over at Goodwill, you can get all different kinds of discounts. So I have like the student discount, the veteran discount, like whatever you could get over at Goodwill, I get that. Everything helps.
Of course. Yeah, I just can't stand the 50% off sale days. I mean, I'll go, but they drive me crazy as far as the lines out the door and just screaming kids in every aisle, and I can't take it.
Yeah.
I don't like having to like race people to get to what I want to buy, and
I like to take my time shopping
around, and yeah, for sure.
So we were just speaking of, I just want to briefly say, we do have a lot of people in the Las Vegas Valley. And to that end, I am creating a meetup group because there are a lot of people that watch us and follow us in our boss group and also on Instagram and YouTube that live here. So the group is in the boss group. There is a link in there. I can't send out invites. So you're going to have to like find the post and ask to be added to the group, and I'll add you. If we're not personal friends, I can't add you. It's just the way it's set up.
Or contact us. You can email me or message either of us. On
yeah, we just have to find
you.
We can send you the link for sure. Message us or email us or whatever, because I know people have talked about it. We've talked about it before. I have officially created the group. It's just a Facebook group. It's not going to be another group where we're going to be posting all kinds of crap like we do in Boss Group. It's just going to be about the meetup, getting together, organizing times, location, topics, that kind of thing. So you're not going to be inundated with a bunch of other posts that you need to come up with. You need to keep up with. So
yeah. Gretchen wants to know, Crystal, how do you store your inventory? Do you prepackage stuff, or what do you do with all your inventory?
Yes, I prepackage everything. So I don't know if you can see my store inventory here behind me. This is just a part of it, but I put everything in these like poly bags, these zippered ones.
Oh, nice.
And I have like what the item is and measurements and things like that on here if I need to refer to it. And then I just put it in the box, and each box has a number on it, all the way up to 100.
Nice. And where do you get those bags at?
I get them on clearbags.com. And the more you buy, the cheaper they are. So you can get like about 2,000 of them for like $30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very cool.
Sounds like a good price.
Yeah, and some people were asking what state you live in, Crystal, but yeah, she's in Las Vegas, so she's here in Nevada with us. I mean, really, there's a lot of people that live in this city, like between.
Right, there are 3 million people that live in the valley. 2 million people approximately live in the valley, but there's usually 3 million people here at any given time. 1 million, give or take, of tourists in and out, and 2 million are actual residents. So this is a pretty small area for the amount of people that we have. So it's a large population, which is why our traffic is getting to be a little bit ridiculous at times. But even though it's a small area, or more maybe because it's a small area, it does somewhat have that small town feel to it, I think. I mean, I've only been here 5.5 years, but I feel like because it's a small area geographically, you tend to get to know a lot of people easily. Maybe that's just me, because I talk to everybody. But the fact that we know personally at least between 25 and 35 resellers alone in this valley, that's kind of crazy, I think.
Yeah, and that's probably only a fraction of them, really.
Oh, I'm sure there's so many more that we don't know.
It's like, I mean, Crystal, do you ever have problems like finding stuff to buy and sell?
No, I never have a problem. There's always in abundance, and I had a death pile here because I was buying so much stuff, and then I had to restrain myself for a couple of weeks not to buy anything until I had everything listed. So now I'm good to shop again.
Good.
Yeah, because I feel like with Savers, like you could go every single day and like leave with stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'll spend 2.5 hours when I go to Savers by myself, which I may do today or tomorrow actually, because I need to get a few things. But
what?
I like to go by myself sometimes because I like to spend the time, and she doesn't like, because she's only goes in like 2 or 3 different areas. So if I spend 2.5 hours, she's done in half an hour, and she's like, all right, tapping her foot. But if I want to spend a significant amount of time and actually look in every single department, I mean, you're always going to find stuff. So
yeah, definitely. And I do agree too with it being like kind of a small town. It seems like everywhere I go, I run into somebody that I know. You know, you could chit chat for a while with somebody, and then it's like anywhere in Vegas, Henderson, Summerlin, you can get around the whole entire town in like 30 minutes.
I mean, pretty much.
On the freeway. Yeah.
I mean,
it's
no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I come from Rhode Island, which is, a really small state. And every town is a small town, and Rhode Island has a small town feel as far as the whole state. Nevada is a huge state, but this valley, this Las Vegas area, because there's really nothing around us, is relatively small.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So let's see, Crystal. So one question I want to ask before we jump into your store review, I'm assuming you're full-time reselling, right?
I am a full-time stay-at-home mom, and I am consider myself like a part-time reseller, only because of the way my time is divided. So I homeschool my son, and he has some special needs. So that is my full-time job, and then my part-time job is reselling.
Okay, and so then as far as your reselling goes, like starting from where you're at right now, what is your goal? Like, where do you want to go with it? Do you want to just stay where you're at right now? Do you want to grow it a little bit? Like what's kind of like, where do you see it going?
I do want to grow it more, and eventually I would like it to replace my husband's income to where he can stay home.
Okay, cool.
That would be my biggest goal.
What does he do right now?
He does pest control.
Ooh.
So he has his own, he does pest control. And
good to know. And now we have a resource if we need to call somebody for pest control. I don't have a monthly contract because I don't really need one here, but every once in a while I need somebody to come for the ants once or twice a year. So
now it makes sense why you have that stuff in your store, because it's like she does clothes and then giant jugs of pest control spray or whatever.
Oh, there go my puppies.
What kind of dogs do you have?
Probably the mailman. That's probably the mailman.
Those sound like little dogs. What are they?
Yes, I have a poodle and a Maltese.
Okay.
I like little dogs.
Yeah, we like little dogs.
Yeah. And my other baby.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and share the screen and start doing the store review. People in the chat, if you have any comments or any questions, just go ahead and chime in. And we'll try to pay attention to that while we go through this. We're just going to go through and do, like we have done before in the past, just kind of go through the different aspects of your store, Crystal, and kind of see if there's any places that we think there could be some improvement, which I think everybody has room for improvement.
Everybody. So. Yeah, me too, for sure. First of all, I have to say, as soon as you share here, I really like your logo. That's really cute. It's bright colors. It's clear.
Thank you.
I like the picture.
I like the picture. I've done Rosie the Riveter for Halloween a couple of times. I kind of like that. One of the things I wanted to mention real quick about that is right in your the top of your store, right under your name where Rosie's Closet is, where you have great deals on clothing and other things. If you go in and edit your store, I would put more information there. Part of what is going to work in SEO or search engine optimization is when you have keywords in there. So other than just saying great clothing, you know, great deals on clothing and other things, you would put like maybe a little blurb about your store and about some of the things that you sell. So you may put like Nike sneakers, women's clothing, DVDs, the limited, I mean, just kind of stuff like that where you'd put a little bit more detail so that it's just another way for a search engine to pick up stuff for your store.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so when I look at this, I like to actually go out of the store and just look at this other view, items for sale. So right now you have it says 440 active items, and then if I go down and look at by solds, it looks like you've sold 212 items over the last 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do my little mapping. And I divide. Would you say that that's like an average size of like your current inventory? Like, has that fluctuated much in the last few months?
It's gone up a little bit, but
okay,
not a whole lot.
So if you just like average out per month with 212 items, you basically go 212 divided by 3, and then divide that by 440, and then move your little decimal over. And according to that, you have a 16% sell-through rate, which is actually really good.
For clothing, that's really good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. And so what that says to me is like the number one thing that you can do to improve sales is just have more items for one thing. So, and that goes for pretty much everybody. But if you have a decent sell-through rate, then that means you're doing something right. So just increasing your inventory is going to increase your sales.
Okay.
But anyway, so let's get into like the different things. You want to talk about pictures?
Yeah, sure. So if you go back to the store itself, so we'll start with like photos. First of all, I think I can tell which are your older photos and which are some of your newer photos. I can see the progression in your photos. So overall, they're pretty good. Okay. Some are really good. What are you using for lighting right now?
I have like 2. I don't know what they're called. I guess box lights or.
Okay, so like the umbrella light type of things?
Yes, the umbrella lights. I have 2.
I would suggest maybe adding one in the middle to eliminate some of your shadows in the background. It doesn't necessarily have to be an umbrella light or a box light. You can go buy a real cheap clamp light right from Home Depot or Walmart. Okay. They're about, they usually have like a reflective, like circular thing around the back of them. Just if you look up clamp light, you'll know what I mean. And it's put a daylight bulb in that and keep that toward the middle because you're getting a lot of shadows. And the clamp lights with a bright daylight bulb will eliminate a lot of your shadows. And if you have the box lights on either side and then a clamp light in the middle, it'll help you a lot. And it's like less than $10 all in.
Okay, perfect.
You don't have to have a super elaborate, expensive photography setup. I know that we don't. Ours is fairly cheap. We are going to be upgrading, but it is fairly cheap. And
yeah, it was only like $50 or $60.
For like 12 years, I used 3 clamp lights stuck on the back of chairs, and it was fine. So I think you just need that third light to eliminate some of your shadows that I'm seeing on some of your stuff.
All right.
So a couple of things. So first, you should be trying to do square setting for your photos.
A lot of them are.
Yeah, some are and some are not. And I think it's some of the longer photos, like the dresses and pants and things that I'm seeing.
But like this could be the main photo could be square.
Are you using a phone or camera?
I'm using a phone.
Okay, which is totally fine. If you go into your settings on your phone, there is a setting there for your photos on settings that is a 1-to-1 ratio. So it'll be like 1 semicolon, no colon 1 1:1. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. If you click on that, that makes your photos square.
Okay.
Yeah, and you always
that way you don't need to edit them.
Yeah.
So if you keep that on all the time, your photos are going to be perfect for both Posh and eBay, because I know Posh also uses square photos, correct?
Yes, you can only do square photos.
Yeah. Okay, so instead of it chopping off your photos or you having to edit them, you should be, if you add that light and you add the square setting, you shouldn't have to do any editing.
Okay.
And that's probably taking you some time. So it's a little bit more difficult when you're doing photos of long things like dresses and pants held up the long way. But if you're just gonna have to step back a little further from the photo.
Yeah. Well, I also think, like, I know for like my pictures, you know, your main photo doesn't necessarily have to show the entire thing. And I think you have that like on your notes, don't you?
Right. So what you want to do is on photos like the dresses, and if you scroll back up a little bit, Katie, click on that Hawaiian Reserve dress right there. So if you look at your second photo right there, that should be your first photo.
Oh, okay.
So your gallery photo, you want to show your item up close. It doesn't necessarily have to be the whole thing. So if you're scrolling through and you're looking at something on, you're looking for something yourself on eBay, that close-up photo as your gallery photo is going to be a lot more eye-catching and enticing. So like I see Susie Beach says, maxi dresses are hard to shoot square. I agree. You have to step back pretty far to take the photo, and then just go to and use your gallery photo being an uptight.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If your main photo, your first photo, that's the one that is like, you absolutely should have that be a square photo. And in that case, because what we're talking about, you can do it as a close-up. You're not having to fit the whole thing in there. I mean, I hate doing pants, as I always say, but occasionally I'll have to do pants. Or if I do like a jumpsuit, that's especially hard. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to have that in a square photo.
It doesn't always look nice.
It's only my main photo on those that absolutely, like, 95%, 98% of my photos are all square. But occasionally, like if I'm doing like a jumpsuit, yeah, a couple of the pictures within my pictures are going to be a rectangular picture, just because I don't want it to be so far away. But as long as that main photo at least is a square, that's what is important.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, you don't have to go in and change every single listing, but if you want to go in and change a few, I'm not saying go reshoot all your photos, just going forward, that'll, you know, help you out, I think. And even if you want to go in and change some of your photos when you relist to show that close-up photo as your gallery photo, that'll help a lot.
All right.
The other tip that I had on that is that, so your oversized hanger, I can see that that's a newer thing that you started doing, I think, because I think the photos are better with the oversized hanger. That's the Rally Roots tip, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, those look really good. Those make a big difference. If you want to invest in a half mannequin because you're doing more men's clothing, I would say that would be a good investment for you. But the square, the oversized hanger is definitely making a difference. Okay. But even on your men's shirts, say, like this first one, that Global Fashion, it's a boy shirt, but that should be a tighter close-up photo.
Like this is a little too tight. When I do mine, I like to have, it's more like, I want to have the shoulders in there, but I can have it so you can still see that it's a shirt. So, cause I guess something in between these two pictures.
Okay.
Let's see what else here. So on pants, pants and skirts, those are always hard to get photos of. The hanging on the hanger, the whole long way photo is not doing you any favors. Okay, so what I would suggest is that's a photo you definitely need to have within your photo gallery because somebody wants to see the shape of the pant or the shorts. But I would suggest say even on these, the leggings, that second photo is, even though it's a little out of focus, that's better than the full length photo for a gallery, the gallery pick. People want to see, they're going to scroll right by this long looking pair of pants in a gallery photo. Like those, that picture is a really good one because those hung well, but your up close picture is probably better. And usually if it's going to be jeans, you want to use the butt, especially women's jeans. Women care about the pockets and how the butt looks on a pair of jeans. Okay. So that's going to be your gallery photo as opposed to the long photo. The photos are good. You've got, you want to see the whole thing.
Yep.
But definitely the gallery photo should be of the butt. You can put it on an angle. You can, whatever way you want to do to make it look right. And if you have the ability to do that, I would definitely say instead of hanging all of them, I know that you do this a lot, or people do this a lot for Posh. Try the flat lay approach for jeans too, jeans or pants. If you have a place in your home that you can, lay it flat on something, that is the That's really the best way to take a photo of a pair of pants. And I don't have it on all of mine. Just maybe going forward, play around with that.
I was trying to do the flat lays before. It's like I lay anything on the ground and the dogs are right on top of it.
I totally get that. I totally get that. I will stand on a chair and take a photo of something on a table before I put it on the ground sometimes because of that exact reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, I mean, like your photos are pretty good. A couple of them I found they're a little bit off as far as they're a little fuzzy, but I think if you have daylight bulbs if you add a clamp light or if you have daylight bulbs in your umbrella lights, I think that's going to help you with your photos being a little bit more crisp and clear.
Okay.
Otherwise, I mean, they're clean, they're neat, they're laid out. I think just a little tweaking, I think you're going to be okay. That'll be a little bit better.
One other thing I would say, and I know this probably has a lot to do with the fact that you're a Posh seller, is the background. I don't know if you're still using the colored or picture backgrounds for photos, but just so you're aware that on eBay, it's like it needs to have a white background if you want it to get indexed to Google search.
Yeah, those are old listings from Posh. I don't use that background anymore.
Okay, yeah, I figured that might be the case, but just thought I would point it out in case anybody else out there is not aware of that, yeah, you're more likely to get more exposure if you do have the white background. Okay, so what do we have next on our list?
You want to do your other thing, and then I'll do titles.
What other thing am I doing?
You've got other things further.
Oh, you want me to
talk about? Talking for 5 minutes, so do you?
All right, all right. Well, let's talk about policies a little bit. So it looks like you accept returns. You're not doing free returns, but that's fine. I mean, everything is up to you. But you are doing, at least you have a 30-day, I think, buyer paid returns. So you've got, at least you do have returns.
I think that's fine because I don't think she's selling a ton of items and they're not super high dollar items. I don't think she could absorb free returns at this point. No. So I wouldn't even suggest it.
No, and you're doing free shipping, so I think that's great. And fast and free, which means I'm assuming you just have what, 1 day handling time?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. I did notice that when I look at like one of your listings, when I look at where it ships to, it says United States and many other countries. So do you have some restrictions on yours?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you using global shipping or are you using?
I'm using the global shipping.
That's why, because global shipping restricts countries.
Now, have you ever thought about doing your own direct international shipping?
I haven't, but you know, I think in the entire time I've been selling, I've maybe sold one item out of the country. Oh, I don't. It's not something that I've focused on because I really haven't done a whole lot of it.
Yeah, I think you would sell a lot more if you learned to do it yourself. I think global shipping is a big turnoff for a lot of international buyers.
Okay.
So it may not be something that you want to do right away, but maybe on some items, you might want to start offering it and see how it goes for you. Are you doing your printing your labels online and having pickup, or how do you do your shipping now? Do you print your labels through eBay?
Yes, I do. I print them through eBay.
Okay. So it's really not that difficult. You're not going to change anything if you start doing your own international shipping. The labels are printed right through eBay as well. And there's really nothing different. It automatically prints out the label and you ship it, and you're not selling super high-end items. I would suggest trying it on a few things to see how you feel about it.
I think you'll find that you'll get a lot more sales to Canada. Because the Canadian shipping isn't really that much more expensive. But once you do GSP, then it does really jack up the price for Canadian buyers. But I think you'll see, because I know I do about 20% of my sales are international, and I think Vikki's are close to that. So they're a huge part of my revenue every year. So I think that's just one little thing that every seller can do to just add a few more sales to their bottom line. So,
all right, I'll try that.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about how do they set up shipping to international buyers. If you go back, it's GJass. So if you go back and look in our videos, you can do a search and search for business policies. There was a Boss Up and List show where I showed how to set up your business policies for international shipping. We'll be doing another show here in the very near future to cover international stuff, just because we've changed kind of because of the whole pirate ship thing, and there's just been some changes to how we're doing it. So we want to make sure that people have like the most up-to-date information of like the best way to do it, but we'll be getting more into that. But
yeah, someone asked real quick, what is the return rate on international shipping? And I'm much like Teresa. My return rate on international is negligible. If I get one return a year, that's a big deal. I hardly ever have anything returned internationally.
Yeah. Tara Laura says, I had a Canadian buyer request GSP this morning because they claimed it moves through customs more securely. Have you heard this before? I've never heard that before. I've
only heard it cost a lot more, but they might be.
I don't know what they're talking about.
It might be a high risk item or something.
Maybe it's a high risk item. One which lady might be able to weigh in because she's in Canada and she's a reseller. And they might just not know what they're talking about. But the thing is with Canada, I know that on a lot of items, they don't even charge customs fees. But if you use GSP, they're automatically charged those fees. So I don't see any, I mean, it's to Canada. I don't see any reason why it would be like less secure to just send it regularly. So I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. Do I have anything else for my policies? I don't think I do. The other thing I was going to ask you, Crystal, do you ever use sales? Do you ever do markdowns? Because I don't see any of your items having markdowns.
Yeah, I do. I've been playing around with that a little bit because I'm still, pretty new on eBay. So I've been playing with the sales, trying different things. I don't think I have one on there right now, but I have been playing around with it quite a bit.
Okay, yeah, I would just suggest like doing more of that, just because people like to see things on sale, like what we were just talking about with the 14-day thing.
Yeah, and someone said international is not free shipping. You're correct. International is not free shipping. International is going to be calculated, and the buyers are all aware of that. Nobody does free international shipping. Nobody would expect it. Buyers don't expect it. Sellers don't even try to do it. Don't worry about it. Just do calculated shipping, and your buyers are going to pay what they're going to pay. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They're used to it. They expect it.
Absolutely.
Which means you automatically are going to make more money on every international sale because you're not eating the free shipping. If you're using global shipping and you're using free shipping, you're shipping it free to Kentucky. Right? It's Kentucky, isn't it?
Yeah,
GPS goes. So you will always make more money on an international sale.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, Crystal, my next thing I wanted to ask you about, I see that you have you do a lot of auctions, and I don't know, what is your thought process behind putting stuff up for auction as opposed to just a fixed price?
So I see a lot of the 99-cent auctions, and it seems like some of the stuff is selling at the 99 cents. Thankfully, you've changed the shipping. It's not free shipping when you do the 99-cent auctions. I did see that. So
yes, the auctions is just clearing out the old stuff that's been sitting in my Poshmark closet for over a year. So that's just getting rid of that stuff. I don't want to see it anymore.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Because I mean,
enough.
That's pretty much what I tell people. It's like there's only two reasons to ever do auctions. And one is if you want to blow it out for super cheap. And two is if you have a super crazy unique item, like a pair of Apple computer sneakers from 1982, that there actually is a big enough demand that there will be a bidding war. But even like a lot of stuff that's like maybe a little bit more desirable, like let's say a vintage Pendleton board shirt, you put it in auction, is going to sell for less. So, but yeah, so that sounds perfect. Okay. All right, what do you got?
Susan has a question there. I'm confused. If you list it as free shipping, does the international sale auto-delete the free shipping? No, there's nothing deleted in it, Susan. It's just when someone is looking at an international item and you have free shipping, it's just going to show that it's free shipping domestic only. They're going to actually just see what their shipping charge is depending on the weight of the item and what country they're in, because it is going to be different in various countries.
Yeah.
So let's see. Back to some of the store stuff. So the next thing that I would talk about is your titles. For the most part, your titles are pretty good. You have, I think it's 80 characters, or is it 100? I don't even know how many characters it is anymore. But I would suggest trying to use as much of the characters available as possible. One of the things that you can see when you're looking at if you go back to the view you were just looking at, Katie, when you're looking at items, you will see that same as on your phone or on a customer's phone when they're scrolling, and at least 50% of your sales are going to come from mobile devices. They can only see a portion of the title. So what that means is what you want to do is you want to try to front load the title. And by that, I mean, you want to put your pertinent information up front, such as the name, the size, the color. On a lot of your things, you put the size toward the end, which is not a bad thing. But when someone is scrolling through, they're not going to see the size. That means they're going to have to click on it to see the size if they haven't filtered by size. The other thing too is apostrophes and punctuation. You don't want to put apostrophes, quote marks, the slash that you have like Paris Women's Juniors. You don't want it. You don't need this. I am the biggest grammar guru on the planet, and it kills me that you don't want to do that for listings, but you really don't. All it's going to do is confuse the search results. So you want to be as simple as possible in your titles.
All right.
As far as like men's, women's, children's, or whatever you put in there, don't put the apostrophe. It's not really going to mess it up, but you're just adding a character that is not necessary for search. And sometimes it can like your Joseph A. Batwing short sleeve sweater. Don't put the dot after the A.
Okay.
That type of thing.
Yeah, okay, and here's one. Susan Weir's asked a great question that we were going to bring up. Is it better to spell out vintage versus VTG? I used to say it didn't matter. Now I will say it's better to spell out vintage because the reality is they're weighted differently. So if you just use, I know you have one of your listings here where you have VTG.
Yes.
I would say the majority of buyers are going to be searching with the actual spelled out vintage. And so if somebody searches vintage, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Positano? I don't know. I don't know. Positano. If somebody like actually types out vintage Positano button down shirt, the first results are going to come up are any results that actually spell out the word vintage. And then it will show your result with the VTG. So it really can make the difference between you being on the front page of the results or being 5, 6, 20 pages in. And so I used to always put VTG on all of mine. I now put vintage fully spelled out in all of my titles where I have something vintage. And then I will, in the description, I will have it say VTG just in case somebody does search for that. But so ideally you would have both somewhere within your listing. But yeah, like I think you have, right here you have vintage Corey collection. And so it really is going to make a difference in how you come up in your results based on that.
Okay, so there's a couple of other things. So along with the apostrophes and the punctuation in the title being a no-no, you should not use the acronyms. I know that it's something that a lot of people use for many, many years, myself included, the NWT, new with tags, or the EUC, excellent use condition. These are not searchable terms any longer. And all they're doing is kind of taking up space in your title and messing up the search results. Mm-hmm. So we
both used to do it. So
everybody has done it. That used to be the way to do it. And unfortunately, like everything else, things change. So instead of putting EUC or NWT or anything like that, if you want to put new, you can put new, just spell out new. And then you're going to choose in your dropdown whether it's new with tags or new without tags or what have you. But for the most part, you're going to want to take out those NWOT, that kind of stuff. You're going to want to take that stuff out of your titles. The acronyms are not search friendly anymore. And I think I've just got a couple more things on that. And again, I know we're throwing a ton of information at you. This does not mean that you need to go in and change every single listing. It's just stuff that you're probably going to want to rewatch this or take some notes and then, going forward, implement some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The other thing too, there's no need to type out or abbreviate the word size in your title, like SIZE or SZ. It's something that's just taking up
I used to do the same thing.
Again, I did too. And you'll probably find some of my old listings that'll still have that in there. You don't need to put it. Just put large, put L, or spell out large, or put M, or spell out medium, whatever you want to do. It's not something that you need to bother with in your title. So if you're going to eliminate these acronyms and the size and things like that in the title, the word size, what you should be adding to your titles that I'm not seeing in some of your things is the color. Some items you have the color in the title. Other items you're using great keywords, but then you forget the color. I know you have the color chosen somewhere in your drop down, I'm sure, but you should put it in the title as well.
Okay.
Now, I will say I do that if I have room, but I will say, like, I have a slightly different philosophy that I just don't think the color is as important because I do have it in my item specifics. But it's just kind of one of those things where you get different. I know that sometimes eBay has said, you know, the bottom line is the first, 4 or 5 words are like the most important. Like you're talking about front loading and just trying to imagine, like, how would somebody search the item that they're coming to look at?
Like they'll be looking like for your majestic new with tags men's Denver Broncos hooded sweatshirt. Like click on that whole title for me.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
So for example, you don't have the color anywhere in that on the title. So that would be like, if I were to write that title, I would put new, spelled out, new majestic Denver Broncos hooded sweatshirt or hoodie sweatshirt. I'd have S, Denver Broncos S, and then I'd put blue or navy blue or whatever color that is.
See, and actually in this case, I don't think majestic is very important. Somebody who's coming to search this, to find this, is going to be wanting to find a Denver Broncos sweatshirt or a hoodie. So I would probably, I mean, majestic I might put later, but it's rather than a brand, since it's, unless it's like a vintage starter jacket, which it's not, something like, most likely somebody who's searching is going to say Denver Broncos sweatshirt or Denver Broncos hoodie.
I would just put new. I always put new in the front of the title if it's new. I don't put NWT or NWOT. I just put new. And then when you have the drop down, your drop down is one of the choices is new with tags or new without tags. It's just the acronyms are what screw people up. But in general, that's a good title. You just might want to switch the order of how you put it.
All right.
I do have a question here. It says free economy shipping. When you, I don't know if you're using business policies or if you're just doing whatever your shipping is within each listing, are you just picking economy shipping as opposed to first class?
Yes.
Because I would look at that because I think there is a difference in the number of days. Like economy shipping, I believe will say it's from like such number of days to this number of days for estimated shipping time. Whereas I think it's shorter by like a day if you actually specify first class. And the reason that matters is because you do, if you want to be included in the whole guaranteed delivery time, you want to shorten that delivery window as much as possible. And so by choosing first class international, because I used to just have standard shipping. Like I just said standard shipping for stuff because I like to have, like, I don't know why, but for some reason I felt like it gave me more flexibility. Really doesn't matter. But when they went to the whole guaranteed delivery program, I changed everything to where now it specifies first class if it's first class, because that will shorten up the time.
Well, even look at what she says right there. So this is coming into the same, going state to state, actually, city to city right here. It's showing us what is that, a five day,
6 days.
5-6 business days.
Well, DJ just pointed out economy shipping is 1 to 10 days because I think economy shipping, see, DJ, if it's going first class, see, standard shipping says 2 to 5 days. I believe first class says 2 to 4. So all it's doing, like, it doesn't, obviously what you're shipping it the same way every time. So the reality is whatever day, however amount of days it takes, but you want your estimated delivery times to be more accurate. And if you can tighten them up, it's much better. So in this case, it's saying it's going to take, I mean, if I bought this from you right now, I should be able to get this by Friday because you'd ship it out tomorrow and it would ship to me in 1 day because it's first class, right?
Yes.
And yet this is telling me I'm gonna have to wait till next Tuesday to get it.
Right, which we know we know it would come faster, but a buyer may not know that, and that's going to make a difference coming up on the holidays.
Oh,
for
wow.
sure.
Okay. I never thought of that.
Yeah, and you can also see that I think because you have economy shipping in this one, this particular listing is not showing fast and free, which if you look at some of your, other ones, well, it shows it right there though. So I guess it's just for these economy ones. It's not showing it within the actual listing. So it's only showing it on these other results, which is kind of weird, but it definitely has to do with the fact that you don't have first class picked.
Okay.
So I'm done with photos and titles. Those are all my notes on those 2 things. And I know it was a lot. I'm sorry. I'm not picking you apart. I hope you don't feel that way. But
No.
I think that your titles are good, and I think your photos are good. I just think they could be better. And getting some tips and changing and tweaking a few things are going to make a difference in how they're viewed.
Mm-hmm. Here's one question I have, Crystal. So you have free shipping, which is awesome. Do you provide, can people pay to get it faster?
I don't think I have that set up.
Okay, so that's another thing I would suggest you look at for the holidays. So let's say I want to buy this for my nephew and I want to get it to him faster. You want to have the option that somebody can pay an extra $5, $6, $7 to get this sent priority. Or in my case with my listings, I have the option somebody can pay $6.95 to have it sent priority, or they can pay $22.95 and have it sent express, which is like 1-day shipping. And so having those options for the holidays so people can, we're trying to buy things as gifts and get things faster can potentially help.
You'll be surprised how often someone is going to choose that as an option. They might buy a $15 item and pay $29 to have it overnighted.
Yeah.
Okay. I will definitely add that.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pop into this. Well, yeah, it's funny because I just sold, like I have stuff that I bought to sell well over a year ago, 2 years ago. I just sold a button down. I mean, it was like a polo Ralph Lauren shirt, but I don't buy those anymore. Like they just don't sell for enough. And I just sold one. I took an offer for $16 because I was just like, I just want it out of my inventory. And then they paid, and the lady paid $6.95 to have it set priority. So it would have cost me free. It would have cost me like probably $4 to send it. And I don't have them pay the difference. I just have to pay the whole amount when they upgrade to priority. So she paid $6.95 and I got to send it priority, and I didn't have to pay the $4 out of pocket to ship it. So, and that was just because I had that option. Now she probably would have bought the shirt anyway. And for something like that, she probably wouldn't have even asked. Because sometimes you'll get somebody who will contact you and be like, can I pay to have it faster? But the best option is to just have it already right there.
Yeah. I always have first class and priority. I don't have express listed. Yeah. And I know I probably should, but I don't. If people ask me for it, I'll certainly provide it, but it doesn't happen often. A couple times since during the holidays.
Yeah, a few times. You never know. Anyway, so how overwhelmed are you now, Crystal?
No, I mean, that's why I'm here, right? is for the help. So I did take notes while you guys were talking. So I have a lot of work to do, and I just want to say thank you. That was a lot of information, and I will watch the video probably 2 or 3 times so I can get it all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and we gave you a bunch of stuff, but we usually like to wrap it up with, like, we call it actionable tips. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, what would you like boil it down to is like you think like most important that she should focus on right now?
Well, there's a couple things that there's only like one thing that we didn't talk about. I do see that, some of your newer items, I can tell based on that extended hanger, some of your newer items, and also your photos, some of your newer items, you are looking for higher dollar amounts. So I think that that's something that you should focus on. And you said that you have been doing that. Focus on items that are going to give you a greater return on investment, not as many of the 15 and $10, $15, $18 items with free shipping. Although I know those are probably things you get at the bins relatively cheaply. So you're selling them cheaply, which is great. They're also not fantastic names, so they're going to sell a little bit slower. So I think you're noticing yourself that that stuff is not going to sell quite as quickly or for as much money. So you're spending a little bit more time sourcing better items. And that's just part of the learning curve. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I even need to tell you that. I think that's something that you're naturally doing on your own.
Okay.
But, and I think that you're going to find, even if you spend a little bit more, you're going to make more. So it is worth it. As Kelly had said in her post on Instagram about potatoes, little potatoes, medium potatoes, big potatoes, her potato analogy. Her potato analogy. You're going to want to, you're much rather going to sell, 50 items a month at a $30 average sale price than $100 a month, 100 items a month at a $7 sale price. Do you know what I mean? So, you want to work smarter, not work harder.
TJ's Life is Pie says, hit that like button, busted out the super chat. You know what that means?
You've got to sing.
Super chat, super chat, super chat day.
All right.
Oh, I had another question for you, Crystal. So, we're talking about Poshmark and how needy Poshmark is. You have to like constantly be sharing your closet and stuff like that. And you're able to do that on the go. What are your habits like with eBay? Like I'm sure you're working on it every day. Do you list every single day? Like how do you kind of like balance your work for eBay?
I start in the morning with Posh and share my closet. Like that's like the first thing I do. And then I list everything first on Poshmark, and then I cross post it to eBay because all of the photos are square. So I've been trying to do all of the photos from Poshmark and take those over to eBay.
Okay, awesome. And so is eBay getting, are you listing new things every single day on eBay, 5 times a week, or how does that usually come out?
I try to list every day, at least one item, at least one, but it doesn't always happen.
Okay. Well, you have a young child at home, so I mean, life gets in the way, so that's what happens. But yeah, at least one item a day, or a day. You said Tuesday is your day when you get to go sourcing, so.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I mean, there are some days, when I can list 25 or 30 items, but I try to do at least one a day and just keep that habit going.
No, I think that's really important. So that's good. So I think what it really comes down to is going to be what I say to pretty much every single person that we do this with, and that's just increase the items in your store. That's going to have like the biggest impact, especially because you do have like a pretty good sell-through rate. So the more items you have in your inventory, the more you're going to sell. And then what you said about going after, kind of increasing your average sale price.
Right. Like it's not even worth getting stuff for $0.25 or $1 or the 99-cent tag sales if they're not going to sell. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some of the real common brands and things that you're going to find at, Kmart or Walmart or JCPenney, they might be the everyday items. And don't get me wrong, that's the hell I wear. Like I'm not a dollar, an expensive brand name shopper in general for myself, but it's not the stuff that people are going to buy or spend a lot of money on online, because once you factor in shipping and your costs, all that kind of stuff, that even if you got it for $1, if you're only netting $3, your time is worth more than that.
Yeah. And we covered like a bunch of stuff, but I think those 2 things. And then I think if we were just going to focus on 3 top things, I think the third thing would be overall kind of updating, fixing your shipping policies, whether that's looking into potentially doing your own international shipping, but also, changing those economy shipping things to first class, adding faster ways that people can get stuff if they pay extra. Because I think those, a lot of those things are kind of like what makes or breaks somebody's decision about whether they're going to buy your item is if they can get it a little faster, or, especially when we come into the holidays. So I think those are, and then of course there's all the other stuff we talked about, but yeah, higher average sale price, more stuff in your store, and then shipping policies.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's all good. I mean, I think you're off to a good start. You've only been doing this for 6 months on eBay. eBay is a bit of a monster to learn and understand. So I think that overall your store looks way better than most people's store does that have only been doing it for a few months. So I mean, don't be discouraged, because you're obviously getting this stuff. You're already improved your photos from where they were originally. You're getting into higher dollar amount items. So you're getting it, and you're learning and you're improving as you learn. And that's the whole point of learning this business.
For sure. And 16% sell-through rate. I mean, just imagine. I don't know.
I only have an 8% sell-through rate.
I don't know what you make in a month on eBay, but just imagine if you had double the inventory and you were making double what you're making right now just on eBay. Like that would probably make a big difference to your monthly income. So yeah, and the thing is, like, yeah, I agree. eBay is a lot. I don't do Posh, but I know I've heard about Posh and other platforms and the simplicity. And eBay definitely is a lot more complicated, and I think it has a much steeper learning curve. But one thing I do like,
much bigger worldwide audience.
Yeah, the bigger worldwide audience. And what I do think is that for people who are capable of kind of, I'm not going to say mastering listing on eBay, but I will say the people who are the most competent at it and really learn the ropes and understand most of the ways that it works, once you kind of master it, I feel like eBay is kind of like you really can drive those sales in a way that you can't on other platforms, in my opinion. So it's worth like kind of getting really good at it. Anyway, I think we're just about done with the show. I did want to say, so I heard that today, I always forget to say something about this, but usually after the show, eBay for Business does like a live video. Today, guys, they're doing an Ask Me Anything show. And it's Griff and Brian Burke are doing it, I think. So if you want to go give them some questions, ask them the hard-hitting questions, or maybe even be nice, whatever. If you want to go ask those questions, I think that starts it's like 5 after 12 right now. I think at 12:30 on the eBay for Business page, they're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything, a Q&A. So you can go and ask Griff.
The only other thing I wanted to mention that we did not mention today is our sponsor for the show. And they've been our sponsor for God, like 9 months or so now is Sizely.
Yeah.
So if you're not using Sizely, it's definitely a great tool to check out. It's going to help you with your listings be a little bit more precise on your measurements, and also help you probably hopefully reduce returns on your items, because the measurements are easy to read and easy to understand for your buyers. And it's a pretty easy product. It's $7 a month if you pay by the month. There are a couple of different things available. There is a free version that has some limited templates, which even that is
even fantastic. That can help. I think they have like jeans and t-shirts, so
which I think it's basic, but I think it's really helpful. So we really like Sizely. Katie's been using it for a few years now. She's been talking about it long before they became a sponsor for our show, which is why she asked them to sponsor our show, because she really, really believes in the product.
I love it. And the pro version, which is the highest, other than like the custom one, which is really just if you have like your own retail store, there's like over 100 templates, and if you do all clothing, which I do, it's like there's no reason to not get this tool, because I use it for every single listing. And I love it now. And the thing I actually like about once they went to a paid site is they added like all these other templates. Like, look, they have like cargo pants now. They have like all these different types of skirts, different types of pants. And I think it adds like a level of professionalism to your listing. And plus, like, what a pain is it when you're trying to like convey the measurements for like a women's blazer? And in this case, it's
overalls. That was the one for me. That was the game changer. I buy a ton of overalls and I sell a ton of overalls. So let me tell you something. If you've ever tried to measure overalls, first of all, it's nearly impossible to measure them in typing it out, trying to figure out what the parts actually are. So it's kind of one of those weird things. So the coveralls and the overalls, I think, are fantastic. Because they have a weird waistline. They have a weird rise. It's hard to describe, I think. So I like them a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a link down below in this video if you guys want to check out Sizely. Like I said, they are our sponsors, and we like them. Anyway, guys, I guess that's about it for today's show. Crystal, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Do you have any questions for us like that we didn't answer? Or did we just talk too much?
No, you don't talk too much, but I don't think I have any questions right now.
All right, cool. Pam wants to know, how quickly can you add stuff to Sizely and then to eBay? I mean, it's really fast for me. It's like, especially now, once they went to the paid site, I used to have to do a version in inches, and then I would do another one in centimeters, because I like to have that for my international buyers. But now you can just click on you just click check the box, and it does both. And so you only have to enter it one time. I just grab the picture and I upload it to my eBay listing. I mean, it adds like maybe an extra 15 seconds to my listing.
It's a lot shorter than typing out your measurements.
Yes, absolutely. Susie Beach says that Crystal's hair is beautiful, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been growing out all of my gray hair for about a year now, so
I like it. I think it looks like you did it on purpose.
I was just gonna say, that's your gray hair growing out, because it looks like it's like highlighted or something. It looks
you've got like a whole Morticia thing, and it's really cool. I love it.
No, the gray is my natural. The brown is dyed.
That's crazy. It looks really good, because people pay to have that gray streak now. That looks like, I thought you did that on purpose. It's awesome.
No. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Very cool. Susie Beach, girl. Do I sound natural when I say that?
No. Please stop.
All right, guys. Thanks again for coming to the show. Get back to listing. And like I said, at 12:30 on the eBay for Business page, you can go bug Griff and Brian. Hit them up with your questions if you have any questions you want to ask them about. But also be nice to them, because eBay for Business tends to get all the mean people.
They get beat up. They really do. And I feel badly, because they're not making policy. They didn't make you not have sales or lose sales or have a crappy buyer or have a bad day. Like, they get beat up. Yeah. It's rough. It's a rough job, I think.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for coming by. Boss up.
Bye.
Bye.